Raptors leading by 6. Clark, their offense has been great here.
Yeah, I love the way they've looked, really strong and together.
Yeah, the ball movement has been terrific, and they've kept the defense off balance. You know what? Just a little fancy on that possession there. Just go up in rhythm.
Conley against DeRozan. Conley, the pass to Randolph. It's stolen by Lowry. Oh, and here it comes Carroll all alone. The finish. Green with the block. Now Lee. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. That's in there. Conley with the assist.
Oh, that is just weak defense there. I'm pretty sure that was not the plan to give him those kind of baskets at the hoop.
Lowry kicks to Valanciunas. Wide open shot is on the money.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Purposeful passing it is, partner. Their last 10 points have all come off assists.
And for Kyle Lowry, a guy who just has an unbelievable nose for the basketball, the triple-double comes naturally to him now. Top 10 in the league the past 2 seasons. In his short time with the Raptors, he's already their career leader in that category.
Toronto with the ball. They're on a 14-6 run. Shoots from the baseline. Good work defensively by Gasol.
You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
There's a good screen. Green, the screen, off the screen. And it's Conley that time on the assist by Lee. 6 points for Conley.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Now here's Valanciunas. Kicks to Carroll. Left side Lowry. Shoots. And Luis Scola gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Patrick Patterson, he's checked in for Toronto. Terrence Ross comes in for DeMar DeRozan. Then for the Grizzlies, Barnes comes in for Green, and Allen sub in for Courtney Lee. Ross against Allen. Pass to Conley. Shoots the 3, and it's good. Conley's got 9. Raptors with the lead. And the pass to Patterson. Stolen by Randolph. 3 seconds separate the shot clock and game time. And they take the lead.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync. Tremendous communication and awareness.
Stolen by Randolph. Conley kicks to Randolph. Can't hit from 12. And power forward Patrick Patterson getting better every season. He said that...
I think my 3 years at Kentucky, caused what I am now, as far as being a sound player,
Patterson, Clark, exactly the guy he says he is, and that's why he's one of those glue guys you've got to have on your team.
Yep, Velcro valutility, I call him, the kind of guy who his teammates just love. I mean, they know he's always going to have their back, and he's always going to work hard. He's going to do what he's supposed to do and be where he's supposed to be and do it when he's supposed to do it.
Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. What stands out to you from the Grizzlies in this one?
I just think that from an intensity standpoint, their defense has really been the key. It's been the catalyst as they've been able to disrupt their opponent's offense.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been much more intense defensively. And their defense not only has been intense, but it's been swarming and saran wrap-like.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. So for Toronto right now, Johnson is out there with Patrick Patterson. Then it's Corey Joseph. And there's Bismack Biyombo. And it's Ross in at the 2.
You know, Dwayne Casey was once a player at Kentucky, took me and hosted me on my recruiting visit at Kentucky back in 1979. Actually got his coaching start at the school as well.
Udrich dishes to Gasol. A baseline J. And a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls. And now a 3-point Grizzly lead. As we were talking about Coach Dwayne Casey, he's found his place in Toronto. Took them, Greg, to back-to-back postseason appearances.
And, you know, it's good to see him finally establishing himself as a head coach. Really known as a defensive specialist, but once he gets in charge of a team, he'll have them focused on defense and really stresses that in every practice.
The Raptors making a switch here. DeRozan's checked in. Then for the Grizzlies, Green comes in for Marc Gasol. And it's Carter in for Matt Barnes. Passes it to Green. It's stolen by Johnson. Outside DeRozan. Shot goes down. Very quick possession right there. DeRozan's got 8 points.
I love the ball movement there. He put that on a silver platter. Just served him up.
Lets it go from 14. And that one's good.
Let's go.
And so here's Toronto. Joseph with the ball. Looking for his first basket still in this one. DeRozan with it. Now Green defending. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. Memphis known for how tough they are at home, but they were equally tough, Clark, on the road last season.
Yeah, grit and grind travels well, Kevin. I mean, even on the road, they were able to force teams to play at their pace.
First one falls for him.
And, guys, consistency always a key for the Grizzlies. And when you talk of consistency, how about having the same field goal percentage, whether away or at home?
Luis Scola, he's checked in for Toronto. And the Grizzlies also with the sub. Lee's checked in. The drive by Green. After 2 misses to start the game, he's on the board with that shot made.
And, you know, to be able to knock down shots on the road the same way you do at home is why the Grizzlies racked up 24 road wins. I mean, it helps when you can attack the basket, as they do, and work things inside close to the rim.
Here's Udrih. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And Beno Udrih, a 6'3 lefty combo guard out of Yugoslavia. He can run the pick and roll and has really improved from mid-range. Can square up and bury it at a moment's notice.
And Udrih lacks the quickness, Clark, to stay with most point guards defensively.
Yeah, just by a step or two, and that's why he's better defending 2 guards. He does a much better job when he's matched up with 2s versus point guards.
Well, last year Toronto won their division and got bounced out in the first round. Same result, Clark, they had back in 2014.
Yeah, but, you know, despite that sameness, they were an improved team last season, Kevin. They did a lot of the small things better in total, and I thought looked better and more cohesive as a group.
And as you mentioned, the Raptors did improve last season. I mean, they cut back on their turnovers a lot. They were top 3 in the league in terms of taking care of the basketball. You know, maybe he's not one of the elite sharpshooters, but even still, that's not a shot that he can afford to give him.
Green with a screen for Carter. Jeff Green on the wing, the 17-footer. It's Biyombo with the rebound.
And as you said, the Raptors took care of the ball a lot better and as a result had more assists. They also cut back on their fouls, and that was helpful. Little things like that made them much more competitive as a team and helped lead them to those 49 wins.
Some changes for Toronto. Jonas Valanciunas, he's checked in for Bismack Biyombo. Damari Carroll comes in for Johnson. And it's Lowry in for Joseph. Memphis also making some changes. Zach Randolph's checked in for Wright. And it's Conley in for Udrih. And it's Carter penetrating. Top of the key, Conley. Off the mark there with the 3-point shot.
Boy, they're fortunate. The defense was taking a big chance leaving him that wide open behind the arc.
Here's DeRozan, and Vince Carter picks up a foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
That's his second personal foul. If he gets another, it probably puts him on the bench for the rest of the first half.
DeRozan.
He's been wayward and just off on about everything he's put up in this period.
Lee against DeRozan. Conley kicks to Randolph. From about 19 feet. And it's Toronto with the rebound.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
The shot by Carroll, no good. For Memphis, they've gone 4 of 8 so far here in the second quarter. Here's Lee. Here's Conley. No good on the shot, a bit long that time. And Courtney Lee gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Some changes for Memphis. Gasol comes in for Green, and Matt Barnes is subbed in for Carter. The Raptors have gone just 33% from the field in what's been a cold second quarter for them. Just 3 of 9. Lowry from outside, and he gets the bucket. Lowry's got 5 points so far.
You know, Dave Yeager, the coach for the Grizzlies, has really become a big-name coach quite quickly. You know, he's worked his way up the Memphis coaching ladder and has had a ton of success early on in his career.
Toronto's gone 2 of 4 from three-point range so far in the second quarter. Unloads. The shot will not go. Now Memphis takes it the other way. Lee goes in. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
And guys, Courtney Lee, not the most flamboyant offensive threat, but he's a steady player at both ends of the floor. Makes threes at a high clip and compete defensively. One of those guys that you don't necessarily win because of, but you sure will win with.
Some changes for Toronto. Patterson, he's checked in for Stowe. And Terrence Ross is subbed in for DeMar DeRozan. Both good from the line that time. And Courtney Lee out of Western Kentucky. Not usually a hotbed of NBA talent, but, you know, Clarkie's having a nice career.
He really is. I mean, playing big minutes for the Grizzlies, Kevin, and they really need his floor spacing and his hard-nosed, versatile defensive ability.
Barnes kicks to Gasol. Off the iron that time.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
Patterson, that's good. Patterson's got the game tied up here for the Raptors.
Well, check out that assist. That's a pair of teammates that are clearly on the same page.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. Kick by Randolph. Lowry against Conley. And there's the feed to Barnes. 5 to shoot. Randolph. Great positioning on the putback. And the Grizzlies lead by 2.
You know, his positioning near the hoop, always to his advantage. Just a terrific job to tip that one back in.
Kept alive. Here's Valanciunas. And he drops it in from the low post. Valanciunas has got his second basket.
How about the purpose with which he's crashing the backboards right now? Some hard-earned second chance points.
It's all tied in Toronto.
Hey, Kevin. Well, Coach Casey, obviously it's early in the season, but how would you say this team is shaping up in terms of its chemistry and personnel-wise?
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first quarter for the Raptors was fairly even. Their largest deficit of the period was just 4 points. They were right there within shouting distance the entire time. The second quarter was a strong effort for them as they continued to battle, and they were able to close out the half in a good position. And taking a look at the Raptors, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, their passing was impressive. They're in a good position to win this game, in large part because of those assists. And this is the thing. You win as a team in this league. You have.
And that'll do it for now as we send you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of this.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. You gotta like what DeMar DeRozan has done in this game.
And in terms of points in that first half, you know, he's now at a point where we expect him to perform that way.
And, Greg, that tells you all you need to know about what a talent he is. I mean, I'll bet he adds a lot more to his totals after the break.
So on the 4 for Memphis. A lot of defense with Conley and Lee in the backcourt. Green is the 3 with Zebo at the 4. And it's Gasol at the 5 roaming the paint. Clark, looking around the league, there's no team that teams want to play less than the Memphis Grizzlies. They just wear you down.
Well, they play a physical brand of basketball. They play hard. Everybody's on the same page. And even if you beat the Grizzlies, they take a lot out of you in terms of how they try to wear you down.
Conley gets the bucket. Second half just getting started. About a minute played. Lowry passes to DeRozan. The fadeaway. Valanciunas can't get that one to fall.
Ugh, ugly start to the second half. They've missed their first 4. They've got to get on track.
Conley kicks to Randolph. Can't get it to go. Excellent D there for Scola.
Well, it's just been one of those kind of games for him.
Carroll dishes to Scola. He feeds it to Valanciunas. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
And guys, right now, the defense mentally not there. Can't afford too many of those in a close game like this.
Yeah, Jay, you're right. Almost a free run, don't you think? Clark to the hoop for him there.
Momentum can swing on plays like that, Kevin, especially when the finish has that much thunder on it.
Here's Randolph. That's in there. Conley with the assist. Conley's got 3 assists in the game. Toronto calls timeout. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy during the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
Here's what Toronto's going with right now. Biyombo is checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Johnson comes in for DeMar Carroll. And Corey Joseph subbed in for Kyle Lowry. Wright, he's checked in for Memphis. 2 minutes into the second half of play now. Green with a screen for Conley. He kicks it to Gasol. And the wide open shot from Green. And again, it's Memphis with the 3.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
Raptors trail by 6.
And Marc Gasol surprisingly nimble for a 7-footer. He really moves his feet well at both ends of the floor. And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
Conley, the pass to Wright, and a beautiful feed leads to a monster jam.
And that's the kind of lead pass we've come to expect from him.
And when you look at Marc Gasol now versus when he came into the league, remarkable how that body of his, Clark, has transformed.
Kevin, he changed his diet and he dropped a bunch of weight. Believe it or not, he even grows vegetables at his house. He's really gone all in on the transformation of his body.
Clark, good information.
Yes, sir. That's what we do. That's what we do here. Info and entertainment.
Shooting for Toronto.
And guys, we saw a nice development for James Johnson last year. He was 59% from the floor. Closest he had ever come to that in his 6 years was 46%. What a dramatic Clark improvement there.
Yeah, and I think it was all due to shot selection. He dialed back on the number of threes that he was taking the year before, and his percentage went up.
Patrick Patterson, he's checked in for Toronto. Terrence Ross comes in for DeMar DeRozan. Vince Carter, he's checked in for Memphis. Udrich comes in for Michael Conley. Here's Udrich. Gasol a screen. And Udrich kicks to Wright. There's the dish to Gasol. 6 to shoot. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And back to James Johnson. Yeah, he improved his shooting percentage, but the rest of his game has been kind of in a holding pattern. He's averaging neither highs nor lows in any other category, and that means to me he may have flattened out in terms of reaching his potential.
Talking about James Johnson, the reality is he's a role player. Like most NBA guys, he certainly can be a valuable role player, especially if he can shoot near 60% from the field again. But don't expect him to suddenly become LeBron. That's not his game nor his ceiling.
Last season, Memphis fell late and would end up with the 5th seed in the NBA playoffs. Only one of 2 teams to make the playoffs each of the last 5 seasons, along with the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, and they were a team that nobody wanted to play. Memphis drew Portland in that first round, and even though they were the 5th seed, they had home court advantage.
And Joseph kicks to Ross. And Gasol sends it back. Carter outside. Puts it up from 12. Ross grabs the board.
You know, guys, Memphis walks through the first round against Portland. The second round, a lot tougher against Golden State. They went up 2-1 in that series, but couldn't hold on to that lead.
And, guys, Memphis would lose 2 of their 3 games at home against Golden State. So things got tough with the Conley injury and missing Tony Allen as well. But they did put up a good fight, ultimately, though, falling in 6 games to the Warriors.
And, guys, Bismack Biyombo, he got into a groove at the end of last season. After Al Jefferson went down, remember the month of April, he averaged nearly 9 rebounds a game, 2.5 blocks. He was all over the floor.
Yeah, and that's Bismack. I mean, he's that guy. He cleans the glass for you, intimidates shooters in the lane. He's not all the way consistent yet, but he's shown steady improvement.
A nice shot by Carter.
Now, how about how he sets his man up there, runs him right into the screen, and then gets the basket.
Feeds it to Biyombo. And again, Toronto, no luck.
Talking about Bismack Biyombo, he entered the league as an extremely raw prospect. Was the 7th pick in 2011. His shot and general awareness were the biggest concerns. But last season, he shot over 60% from the floor. The 2 seasons before that was only 45%.
Here's Joseph. The shot's good on the assist by Johnson. Joseph's got 5 points so far.
Textbook, nice pass, great catch, even better finish. And getting back to Biyombo for a moment, he has the potential for a breakout year. I mean,
They can't guard us on the perimeter. Spread the floor and isolate up top. Spacing, fellas. Spacing.
It's time to just put it all together and become the player your potential dictates.
So timeout called here. The first for Memphis. Some changes for Toronto. Valanciunas, he's checked in for Bismack Biyombo. Damari Carroll comes in for James Johnson. And it's Kyle Lowry in for Joseph. Memphis also making some changes. Randolph comes in for Wright, and Matt Barnes is subbed in for Udrih. Picked by Randolph. Barnes dishes to Carter. And another miss by Memphis. Raptors trail by 6. Got a piece of it, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Allen. Courtney Lee, he's checked in for Tony Allen. .54 seconds left in the third quarter. Tipped away and out of bounds as the Grizzlies gain possession. There's 48 seconds left in the third quarter. And here's Carter. Dishes it to Barnes. Back to Carter. Memphis moving it around. And goaltending is going to be the call. So they get the basket there anyway.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
Patterson passes to Lowry. Back to Patterson. The baseline J. And with that shot, the Grizzly lead is cut down now to just 6 on the basket from Carroll.
And boy, did he go straight at the defender on that possession. Didn't bother him at all.
Lowry against Carter. Outside Gasol. Shoots from the line. Bounces high off the rim and drops. Gasol's got the lead. Back up to 8 now for Memphis. Shots continue.
Okay, fans, put your hands
Well, welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. Memphis leading by 8. The star pair of Lowry and DeRozan are the guard. Jamari Carroll is out there with Scola. And it's Valanciunas in at the 5 down low. That's the 5 out there for the Raptors.
An open jump shot there, and their D not putting up any resistance today.
Toronto with the ball. From 18 feet away, and the shot is good. 7 points for Kyle Lowry. Memphis has gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc so far tonight. Conley kicks to Green. Conley against Lowry. Conley into the lane. Makes that one his 6th of the night. Shooting a very healthy 6 for 9.
Their interior has been inferior defensively. It has got to tighten up.
You're right on target there, Greg. Of the last 10 points they've allowed, 8 have come from in close.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
Gasol. Toronto grabs the miss. Carroll's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Here's DeRozan, and good, he nails it.
I tell you what a good thing that he showed up today, because without him, this thing would already be over.
Picked by Randolph. Conley into the lane. The feed to Randolph. Unloads from 9. And that one's good. Randolph's got the lead up to 10 now for the Grizzlies.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 points coming from inside the painted area.
And really something that the defense has to address.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Yes, guys. I was able to hear Dwayne Casey coaching his team during that break. The three-pointers obviously have been hurting them, and he told his players, we've simply got to play them tighter on the perimeter. We can't afford to give them these wide-open looks. Kevin?
Tony Allen's checked in for Memphis. The drive by Green. Poke loose. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Green. Raptors trail by 10. On the wing, DeRozan. Defended by Allen. Thing about DeMar DeRozan, he came into the league fairly unpolished. Struggled to handle the ball. Created then his own shot. And but sometimes he would create for others too. Yeah. But he's settled down. You can see the growth.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. You could see the physical talent was there in terms of him playing the two. The question was, could he make the commitment mentally to become a great player? Well, from what he's done the last few years, I would have to say he's definitely been able to do that.
Lowry against Conley. Gasol, a screen on Lowry. And it's Conley penetrating. No good off the pick.
Hey, they got the shot they wanted off of that pick, but it just doesn't fall.
Yeah, it didn't go down, but you'll take that shot every single time, Greg. That's good offense.
And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for Memphis.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ballgame.
And I also love what they've done defensively in terms of closing out to the shooters, getting a hand up, just making them feel a little uncomfortable on the offensive end. Just couldn't get a hand in the face on that one.
That's using what you got. He's got a height advantage, put it to good use there, and got himself a clean look.
Randolph can't hit.
Oh, tight defense being played right there. Got right up on him and forced the miss.
Textbook work. Close enough to bother the shot. Good challenge, but disciplined enough to avoid too much contact.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. They get Marc Gasol.
Shooting for Toronto.
And what you have to like out of Valanciunas last season, improved efficiency. The game really, Clark, seemed to slow down for him.
Yeah, he entered the league a little green. I mean, would make a lot of mistakes, but had excellent tools. So with enthusiasm and hard work, you knew it was just a matter of time with him.
And for Valanciunas last year, his offensive production was similar to the year before, but he cut down on his turnovers. He also raised his shooting percentage to a career-high 57%, and that, my friends, is improved efficiency.
Now a timeout called by Memphis.
You know, talking about Valanciunas, the light clearly went on last season. He was more assertive, refined his post game. The next step is to extend his shooting range so he can help space the floor on offense.
And just about 3 minutes through the fourth quarter here. Here's Gasol. And that one falls coming off Conley's feet. 16 points for Marc Gasol.
Some defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
Yeah, high percentage shots are what they are getting in terms of the attempts, and that's just not going to get it done. They've got to figure it out.
Nothing too fancy, just simple execution. That's getting the job done when they need to make every possession count.
Completely agree with that, Clark. They need stops and really can't afford any wasted possessions. Those inside shots are nice, high percentage looks.
I think in that situation, it was a nice try to create some space for himself with the fadeaway.
Lowry against Conley. Here's Carroll. And good as it rattles through the hoop. And now just a 4-point Grizzly lead for Memphis. They've gone 5 for 9 from the field in the final quarter so far. Green kicks to Gasol. Goes up the baseline, and it's Memphis with another.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Lowry against Conley. The outside leaner. They get it again. Stolen by Randolph. 4 on 3 as they bring it up. DeRozan with the rebound.
They've been the better rebounding team by a healthy margin, but it hasn't been enough.
Yeah, you know, they're hustling and giving a good effort, that's for sure, but unfortunately, the execution has been lacking.
And really, at this stage of the game, to get those kinds of offensive rebounds for putbacks, you almost feel like it's a 4-point swing.
Timeout called, the Grizzlies. They're up by 4. 1:24 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Outside Conley. Back to Gasol. That's in there. Conley with the assist. Conley's got 6 assists now in the game.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
And Greg, you know nothing makes a coach happier than selflessness on the basketball court.
.115 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Stolen by Allen. Outside Gasol. And good on the basket. Book it. And now it's an 8-point Grizzly lead.
Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
5 straight baskets, Greg, resulting from assists. They're playing as one unit out there. Well, I think he had all the space he needed. He just couldn't find the bottom of the net.
For Memphis, they've gone 8 of 13 from the field since the start of the fourth, sinking the majority of their shots. Conley gets to Gasol. No luck. Nice D from Valanciunas.
Usually, if he gets to the rim, he's converting it into points. But the defense stood tall there.
And Lowry gets it to go.
Kyle Lowry doing work. What a nice-looking shot that was.
Now 8 seconds separating the 2 clocks. And an intentional foul right there. Grizzlies making a switch here. Lee's checked in, and he commits the intentional foul. Gets the first, and that makes it a 7-point lead. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's an 8-point game. Clark, this one just all but in the books.
Yeah, I don't see a comeback at this point, though.
Yeah, too many points, not enough time. How about the way he's able to angle his body to shield the big fella off and still get the finish?
You've got to be clever with your sleight of hand when you get inside and try to finish against the bigger guys. He made it look easy that time.
Second one is good, getting both at the line, and it's an 8-point game. And the Raptors call time here. They're behind by 8. 23 seconds left to play here in the fourth. What's your take, guys?
You know, I think he's just trying to send his team a message, not willing to give up on this game just yet. just trying to instill that fight in this group.
Yeah, hey, I'm all for giving messages and teaching lessons, and I respect that, but at some point, if it's over, it's over. I mean, you need to be looking at the next one. This one's done. Forget about it. Let's move on.
So it's Memphis picking up the win. They came in.
Mike, you guys really...
The 2K Sports post-game show.